Okay, so we're over here. Yes. Hi, everyone. May Day. So it's the official day of spring, new awakenings within the ancient world. It's a day for coming together. It's a day for celebration of warmth, which I think we're seeing. It's hard to see where we are. It's a lot of damp and misty out. But I was looking at some photos from Scotland there, and if you want to have a fun time with some crazy photos of the Scots painting themselves red and jumping over fires, check that out when you're done here. It's Beltane Festival, and I think it's Edinburgh, maybe? Canada's probably knows. Okay, so let's start seated. I'm actually going to turn towards you all because the screen's over here, and I always end up looking at the screen and then I'm not looking at you. So I'm going to kind of turn this way a bit. Yeah, like so many angles. Okay. I'm going to take a second to settle myself. I encourage you to do the same thing. I started saying, I forgot my microphone. Okay, there we go. And without it, it's pretty terrible. So I had to, after getting here, I had to turn around and come back, so I'm all confuzzled. So let's take a moment and listen to that music if we've got it playing, or listen to the sounds of our space if we don't. Listen to our breath. Find an upright seated position. It's springtime, so I'm going to say let's find a seated, active position. Let's rock from side to side, widening our base, securing our root. Try to find some upright alignment here in the spine, which is actually a bit challenging for me today. Maybe it is for you too. Too much sitting. Ooh. And let those shoulders drop. Down and back. Begin to bring some awareness to our breath. I'm in fire logs. I'm going to come up into half lotus. So in half lotus, I'm tucking my heel tight against that on top of my inner hip adductor. I have to do this when I say adductor, so I remember. And I'm tucking that heel in tight towards my hip and letting gravity draw that top knee down. And let's find some space, engage with our area. I've got my hands up receptively, palms facing the ceiling. Easeful expression of the fingers. We're just going to start connecting with our breath as we listen. Just easy breath, but become aware of it. Where is it? No need to change it right now. And listen. Wonderful. And let's begin connecting our movement to our breath, shall we? So let's take a deep breath, breathing in through the nose, all the way down the esophagus, filling the belly from the bottom up. So deep breath in, send that belly out. Rising up into the chest, spreading that rib cage. On up into the neck. Hold. And let it go. Breathing out first from the neck and head, relaxing the face, then from the chest, that rib cage come together naturally, and then pulling that navel in towards the spine, all the way out. Deep breath in. And this time, let's fold forward, let's crawl our fingers forward with the exhale. Just beginning to stretch the muscles of the back and deepen the stretch in the folds of our legs as far as is comfortable. Take a deep breath in the pose here, allowing your breath to expand and back off that stretch just ever so slightly. And then exhale, see if we can go a little further with that space that we find. And hollowing our abdomen. Relaxing the neck, let the ears come between the shoulders if that's in your practice today. One more time, in the pose, deep breath. Really expanding the back body with that breath in, stretching with that breath, and exhale. See if we can go a little further. Tucking the chin towards the chest, draping those hands up against the floor. Feel the texture of that floor mat. As your fingertips touch your knees, you can turn those hands over, rise in the head last, and switch legs. So if you had right on top before, bring your left over on top. Either way, you're wherever you are. Deep breath in. And once again, roll forward, feeling that stretch shift to that opposite leg. Exhale all the way out. Letting go of the head and neck. In the pose, deep breath in, expanding out the back. Breathe out the back body. Really expanding there. Retain the breath. And exhale. Make a little space, go a little further. Get it all out. I was holding on to some, were you? In the pose, deep breath. And out. Maybe you can crawl just a couple of centimeters further. Those fingertips. You brought tension back into your neck. Be aware of that now. Let go of that. Tucking your chin to your chest, draping those hands back slowly, slowly, slowly across the floor. When we reach the edge of our mat, the edge of our knees, our hands can turn over as we come back into our lap, and the head rises. Shoulders fall back. Cross your hands in front of us. Deep breath in all the way up. Seated volcano pose. Palms are about a foot apart. It's a little narrower than shoulder width apart. Our drishti straight up into our palms or into the ceiling. We can do a little apple picking as we breathe in, stretching one side and then the other, like we're trying to reach for an apple that's just out of reach. And as we exhale, we bring that left palm down to the mat. That right one arches over, feeling that stretch in the right side body from elbow all the way down to the hip. In order to encourage openness of the chest, we can bring that drishti up into our right palm, bending into that elbow. If you find that glute, that right glute wants to float off the floor, come back down, rock back down, root that glute, root that glute. Opening the chest, opening the heart. Springtime is for open heart poses. Deep breath in the pose. Breathing that left lung, expand out that right side body. I'm sorry, that right lung. Expanding out that right side body, hold at the top, retain that breath, top it off, like you're sniffing a cupcake. And exhale, see if you can go a little further. Relaxing into the pose. Where are you feeling the stretch most? Wherever you're feeling that stretch most, send your breath there in your mind's eyes. Next breath. And as we exhale, we can turn that hand over and sweep our arms forward. Tucking chin to chest, rolling up, draping our hands across the floor, rising up through our vertebrae, rolling up through our spine, hands turn up, head come up. Crossing your hands in front of us, deep breath in. Seated volcano, stretching one side, stretching the other. Retain that breath, top it off. And turn that right palm over, exhale it down to the floor, left hand comes over top, opening that chest, keeping those shoulders in one line, nice and tall. Drishti up in that left palm. Boy, doesn't that feel different. Take note of how maybe it feels different from side to side for you. Drawing that right elbow towards the floor while keeping that left glute rooted. Thinking, engaging. Deep breath. And exhale. See if we can go a little further. If we can shift that stretch to a different portion of the body, ever so subtly. Maybe you're feeling your back or on your oblique. Maybe you can shift it. Exhaling completely, let your breath change the stretch, the sensational stretch. Deep breath in. Just that left lung, imagine that. Expanding out that left rib cage. All the way up. Hold at the top, retain the breath. Exhale and sweep that left hand down, those arms forward. That feels nice. Rolling up through the spine, chin to chest, draping those arms up. Aligning that spine, one vertebrae on top of each other, turning those palms up receptively. Head's the last thing to raise. Really nice. Really nice. Okay. We're going to do some chest opening today. Ayurvedically, springtime is open time for chest. So we started that a couple of weeks ago with our practice. We did a heart opening practice to encourage immune system and to encourage our compassion for self and others. We're going to continue that practice today. We're going to work towards some wheel, maybe some plow. We'll take a look. We'll do some different stuff. But for now, let's extend those feet straight out in front of us, widening our seat once again. Find a root coming into staff pose. So in staff pose, full expression of the toe. Here, let me show you my toes. I'm wearing my socks. I didn't even take my socks off today. It's a little chilly in here. That's probably why. Full expression of the toes. All 10 toes out. And full flex of the foot. So bring those toes back towards the body. Rooting those legs down. Rocking side to side if we need to find a little more balance. Trying to engage the back of that thigh down into the mat to find a little more balance here. Trying to find an upright position in pose. Deep breath. Breathing into the backs of those legs, driving them down, expanding them like balloons in your mind's eye. Using that breath to fortify this pose. And exhale. Get it all out. Cross those arms in front of us. Inhale. Seated volcano variation. Exhale, seated forward fold. Let it come all the way down. See if we can grab those toes. If we can't grab those toes, maybe grab those ankles or those calves, wherever you are. I'm pretty stiff. I don't know about you. Quarantine's not good for flexibility of my body. Deep breath. So draw those elbows down. Lead with the heart. That makes for long necks. And don't curl up into your body. Make it nice, long. Try to engage those biceps if we can. You can already grab your toes. Maybe you can walk those down to your heels. Wherever you are is where you are. Challenge yourself. Deep breath in the pose. I know it's challenging. We're compressed here. Exhale and use that breath. Use that space to go a little further. Relax on the head and neck, but leading with the heart, drawing the heart towards the knees, drawing those knees in towards the floor. If you are able to grab your feet or your toes, you can try shifting the stretch into the back by pointing those toes slightly. Very nice. Release wherever your grip is. Bring your chin towards your chest very slowly. Inhale as we rise up through the body. Really nice. Back into staff, re-engaging with the floor. Taking note if this pose is different for you. I hope it is. How is it different? Do you find a new stability? Maybe a little more ease with that strength and stability. While we're here, we can draw that right leg up, crossing it over the left. Trying to put all four corners of the foot flat on the floor. So four corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, just below the big toe, just below the little toe, on either sides of the heel, trying to get all four corners of that foot on the floor while keeping that right glute rooted. Bring that right hand, bring it behind us, fingers pointing backward. Left elbow comes on the opposite side of our right knee. Deep breath in. Exhale, supine, seated supine twist. Pops and cracks are normal. Deep breath. Just in that right lung. And that right body expand. Exhale, see if you can go a little farther. Nice long necks. Don't curl into that right shoulder. Walk those fingers out if you need to. One last breath here. See if we can go a little bit further. And releasing that elbow. Starting to unwind here. Bring our front body back towards the room. We can hug that right knee up into our chest as we straighten that leg back out. Re-engaging the staff briefly. Just to check in. Where are we? Cool. Bring that left leg up. Crossing the left leg over the right. Trying to re-engage all four corners of that right foot while keeping that left glute rooted. Bring that right leg, or that left hand, right leg, left hand behind us, fingers pointing backward, attempting to straighten through the arm. We can bring that right elbow outside of our left, deep inhale, and twist opposite side. This side's more challenging for me. How about you? Recognizing that it's normal for our bodies to be asymmetrical. Our balance, our strength, our flexibility may be different from side to side. Day to day or even hour to hour. Deep breath. Exhale, go a little further. Long necks, being aware not to sink into that left shoulder. Deep breath. Into that right lung, expanding that body. Exhale, go a little further. Really nice. Okay. Unwinding here. Back towards the front, hugging that left knee up into the chest, extending it straight out in front of us, reconnecting the staff pose briefly. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, seated forward fold. Letting go of that head and neck, let those ears dangle between the shoulders. Long necks, sinking into this. Doing great. Letting go of our grip of our hand, of our feet, our ankles, letting those hands drape up the calves, the shins. We can bring our feet together, coming into Cobbler's Pose, one of my favorites. Cobbler's Pose, the soles of our feet are pressed together, heel to toe. Our attempt here is to draw our knees down towards the mat. All right. So we want to draw those heels in close to the body, while simultaneously letting those knees drop towards the floor. Long necks here. The sensation, the temptation is going to be to kind of curl up like this, right? Nice and long. So we can wrap those palms under our feet. We can wrap our index finger and our thumb around the big toes, or even interlace our toes and fingers, whatever works for you. Just as we did before, trying to engage those biceps, drop those elbows, and pull that heart forward here. Now, this isn't a super active pose. We're gonna let gravity do the work for us. Take a deep breath into the belly, send it all the way down. And with the exhale, see that space if you can bring that heart forward down towards the floor while keeping a flat back and a long neck. Deep breath in, breathe into that inner hip adductor. I had to do the arms in my head. Deep breath in, let that breath deepen the stretch. Set it all the way down. And exhale, let it go. See if we can go a little further. Coming over that, focusing not so much on bringing the head towards the feet, but the heart towards the floor. Those shoulders drop down. If they're coming up around your ears, back them off there. Deep breath. And exhale a little farther. And when we're ready, we can bring that chin towards our chest, rolling forward on the spine. You can let those shoulders go forward, rolling up through the spine. Our hands can come to the outside of our knees, assist our knees up. Much needed counter stretch here. We're going to go ahead and lower back down on our mats. So our back comes to the floor. Turn it aside for you all. Back comes to the floor, our feet are flat on the floor, knees pointed towards the ceiling. And from here, we can walk those feet out ever so slightly, heel toe, and let those knees tilt in gently towards each other. Feeling that back flat on the floor, we want to try and lower, which each breath, we want to expand, breathe out the back body to expand that lower back into the mat, feeling the support of the floor. Okay, so let's try that. Deep breath in, press that lower back into the floor. And with the exhale, we can let both our knees just fall over towards the left, feeling that twist, stretch in the lower back, but also a counter stretch in the outer hip as well. Inhale, those knees come back up. Exhale, we'll drop those knees to the opposite side. Always connecting our breath with our movement. As we inhale, those knees come up. Face the ceiling this time, we'll bring our head into it. As those knees come down to the left, let that head go up to the right. Uh-oh. Something has happened. Okay, interesting. Well, I've lost video on this other source, so that's fun. Give me 1 second and I'll get sorted. If we continue stretching, you can bring those knees up towards the ceiling once again. And exhale, we can drop them down to the other side. Interesting. Okay, I'm not sure if this is working or not, but we will try it. You all can hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Okay. My phone died for some reason. I had it plugged in, but that's not a good sign. Okay. But we'll continue from here. So we're going to inhale those knees up one more time, and then exhale, let those legs fall over to the opposite side one more time. Really feeling that stretch in the outside body and lower back. Inhaling those legs up one more time. And we can inhale those knees up towards our shoulders, coming into Cannonball Pose. We can rock from side to side, giving our upper mid-back a little bit of stretch against the floor, a little bit of massage against the mat. And when we're ready, with an inhale, we can bring our
grip down to our toes, coming into happy baby pose. We can wrap our index finger and thumb around our big toe, or we can cup the outside edge of our foot with our palms. And we can rock from side to side, just feeling the mat, drawing those knees back and down into the shoulder, in towards the armpit. Feeling that stretch once again on the inner hip, but also the massage that we're gaining. Stretching one foot and then the other. Straightening one leg. And we can rock not only side to side, we can rock forward to backward, seeing what that feels like. Roll up and down the spine. With each breath, relaxing a little more. Drawing those elbows down, engaging those biceps one more time. And with an inhale, let's go ahead and straighten those legs like we're trying to put our feet flat on the floor, straight up above us. Supporting ourselves with our hands on the floor, we can walk those legs up as we send those legs over, so we can support our hips from underneath, coming into plow, sending those legs over our head. So be aware of the neck here. I'm going to keep your neck straight. And with the exhale, coming into the stretch, letting those feet dangle. Now the preparation for a shoulder stand, if we'd like. Attempting to relax those toes down towards the floor. Locking those hands down the back, or I guess up the back, so away from the hips. We can extend those legs up, nice and tall, straight towards the ceiling again. We can come into shoulder stand. Supporting ourselves with our elbows against the floor, pointing our toes. Straight up, we come into shoulder stand. And bending into those knees, rolling back down through the spine, exhaling those legs straight in front of us. Come down into Shavasana just briefly. Taking a few restorative breaths. And we're going to flip over onto our bellies. So whatever transition you want to make that, we can roll straight over onto our bellies. Wherever you are. Wonderful. And with our arms, our fingers facing towards our feet, we're going to move through a Sparrow's pose. So with the head straight in front of us on an inhale, we'll inhale, lifting those shoulders, pinching those shoulder blades back, lifting the chest off the floor, lifting the toes and legs off the floor. Hold. And exhale, we can bring that left cheek down towards the floor. For one restorative breath, deep breath in and out. As we inhale, we can rise that body up off the floor again, drawing those fingers back towards the heels, engaging the muscles of the glutes, the hamstrings, the back, the shoulders. Deep breath here, balancing on our abdominal muscles. We can exhale and draw that right cheek towards the floor this time. Deep breath. Let it go. This time we can kick those feet straight up in the air, reaching back towards our feet or our ankles. We can wrap our hands around our feet. If this is enough for you, then this is enough for you. We can draw those heels down towards the glutes. Deep breath in. And if you'd like to go ahead and try a wheel, we can exhale, pressing those feet back into the palms, rising once again off the floor. We come to wheel pose. Wonderful chest and shoulder opener. We can exhale, bringing our left cheek down to the floor, drawing those heels down into the glutes again. Relaxing in the mat. See if we can get those glutes, those heels a little closer to glutes there. Stretching those quads as we relax the muscles of the neck and face. Restorative breath. Deep inhale, kicking up and back. A little further this time if you're able to. We'll rock from side to side if we'd like, or forward and backward on our wheel. Whatever you're comfortable doing. And exhale, we can bring that right cheek down towards the floor, tucking those heels in towards the glute. One last time. From here, we can let go of our feet. Turning the toes over, positioning our hands beneath our shoulders. We can press back into the heels, preparing for one push-up, engaging the muscles of the triceps and the pectorals. Deep breath in. And pressing out, we press straight up, coming up to a nice tall plank. Wonderful. In plank, we want our hands just under our shoulders, maybe a little farther forward. Full expression of the finger. If you're feeling tension on your wrist, you can walk your fingertips forward or push back into your heels a little bit more. Nice long necks, don't sink into our shoulders, nice and tall. Engaging, pressing out on the mat. Little micro bend in the elbow. You got this. 2 breaths. Using the muscles of the abdominals, not just the chest, the abdominals. Deep breaths, expand those abs. And at the exhale, tuck those elbows in, chaturanga down, slow as we can, dropping towards the floor. Nice, really nice. Turning those legs over, we can come up into tabletop pose, walking those knees towards the hands. In tabletop pose, our hands are about the same place as they were for our plank. Maybe we walk them a little bit farther forward, gazing down between our legs. We should rotate our feet so that we cannot see our heels. Nice flat back. On a flat back, we can lay a glass of water on, ideally. Can't really tell how flat I am. Neutral hips. And as we inhale, we can drop that belly towards the floor. Coming concave in the spine while keeping a long neck. So we don't sink into the shoulders. Nice long neck. We can let go of the jaw. Bringing that gaze towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Exhale. We come through tabletop, straightening through the spine. Through a neutral spine, we continue. Pressing up through the shoulders and spine. Drawing that navel in towards the spine. Inhale, down through. Tabletop. Continue that breath, let it deepen as you let go of the jaw. Gaze is up. And exhale. Through tabletop, pressing up through the spine, up into cat. Chin comes towards the chest. Navel drawn up in towards the spine. One last time. Inhale. Dropping that belly towards the floor. Gaze goes up. Don't sink into the shoulders. Nice long necks. And exhale. We come through tabletop. Tilting that pelvis in. Looking, as I heard it described recently, looking into our pelvis. One way to think about it. And last time we can. Inhale, coming back to tabletop, re-engaging with the mat. A little bend in the elbow, pressing into the mat, finding stability there. Turning our toes over, we send those hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog once again, we want to gaze back through our legs, rotating our heels outward. Making sure we cannot see our heels. Drawing those heels towards the floor. You can pedal it out a little bit if you'd like. You know, drawing one heel towards the floor and then the other. Pressing back into those feet. And tucking our chin to our chest, we can walk those hands back towards our feet, coming into forward fold. Let it all hang out here. Let it hang out. You can rock from side to side if you'd like. Letting that head and neck loose between the shoulders. Little micro bend in the knee, just enough to engage the quad. Not so much that you lose out on a good hamstring stretch. Don't forget our breath. Deep breath into the belly. And exhale. Let it all go. Just like that. Deep breath in. And then let it go like waves. Each little wave, we can tuck now a little further. And bending into the left knee, however much you need to draw that left palm towards the floor. If that's not a lot, that's great. If it's a lot, that's okay too. Bending however far you need to put that palm flat on the floor. We can tuck the rib cage just inside of the hip. Imagine that. Drawing our right hand across our left, up the inside of our palm, across our shoulders. We come all the way open, opening to the side of the room. That right fingertips go all the way up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. And if we'd like to exhale that hand behind us, coming into a bind, that right hand can come behind our hip. That left one can come through our leg, and we can come into a forward bind. So I've had that right hand up, it drops down behind my hip. That left hand comes through the legs. I'm trying to join my fingertips together. Opening those shoulders. If that's not in your practice, that's okay. And exhale, release, coming out of that bind. Put that left hand back on the mat. Shift some of your weight into that hand. Your quads are probably tired. Inhale that right arm back up. Opening that chest to the opposite side of the room, gazing up into that right palm. Exhale, that right hand comes all the way down to the floor, slowly replacing the left. Bending into that right knee as much as you need to in order to make the stretch on the opposite side. So a little bend in that right knee, straightening through the left, drawing those left fingertips up the right forearm, across the chest, opening the opposite side of the room. Fingertips come up or drishtis up into that left hand. It's in your practice. You can drop that right hand behind the left. You get a little better view of the bind from this side. That left hand comes behind the hip. That right hand comes through the legs. And our goal here is to try and bring those fingertips together. It's a challenge. Continue breathing. Deep inhale. Drop that right hand down towards the floor. Inhale that left palm up. Exhale, that left palm comes all the way down, straightening through both legs. We come back into forward fold ever so slightly. And from forward fold, I'm going to come over here, recenter myself so you can see me. From forward fold, you can walk those legs out slightly, a little bit towards the edge of our mat if we'd like, widening those legs. Bending into the knee, dropping our hands towards the floor, dropping that seat. Widening or narrowing your feet as much as you need to in order to come to a low squat here, coming into garland pose. So all we've done is come into a deep squat here, trying to straighten through the spine. Elbows tuck in behind or in front of the knees. If we start to tilt backwards, engage those arms. Pull those arms like we're trying to pull that heart forward one more time. So we're pulling these elbows back. Deep in that stretch is a deep inner hip stretch. Trying to straighten through the spine. Attempting to find balance here. Challenging our flexibility. A couple deep breaths here. Let that seat drop. From here, we can exhale those hands back down on the floor, pressing up through the legs, straightening the legs. We come all the way back up into a forward fold. We can walk those legs forward, or not forward, but together. Bringing those legs heel toe, until we come to zipper those legs together, deepening that stretch in the hamstring, seeing how that changes the stretch for you. A couple breaths here, re-engaging with the breath, feeling the sensations in the body. Noticing how this may be a challenge for you, even within balance from side to side. Widening those legs, bring our hands towards the floor for balance, if need to. Widening those legs, walking them out, heel toe. Coming into a wide lunge here, flattening the back. We're going to come through some goddess flow. So goddess flow, we inhale, we come up, goal posts for arms, straight leg. So the elbows are in one line. If you can kind of see me come into a slight bend here in the hip, in the knee, sinking into the pose. Deep breath, opening that chest, drawing those shoulders back behind us. Exhaling, we come forward, tucking the hands in like we're gripping a giant beach ball. Inhale and open. Sinking those feet down, bending in those knees, engaging those quads. Exhale, we bend at the waist. Drop that chest down, long necks. Bring those arms forward like we're holding a tray. Last time, inhale up. Goalposts. And exhale forward. Hovering last time. 3, 2, 1. Return those hands over, straighten through the legs, send the seat forward. Walking those legs back together, heel toe. Come all the way together, zipper those legs together, bending into the knee, we come straight down. Little foot stretch here. So coming up on the toes, I'll turn to the side so you can see what's happening. I'm keeping my heels up, stretching those toes, using the weight of the body to stretch the toes and foot. That's deep. Our attempt here is to come all the way upright, keeping those fingertips just hovering on the ground. My goal is to kind of keep my hands off the ground. It's a balance pose for us here. Engage and trying to keep a straight spine, drawing those shoulders down and back when we're ready, like we have a string pulling us straight up, picking a spot, adjusting the distance. Oh, we tilt forward, that's fine. Hands can be on our knees. For a little more challenge, we can bring them straight out in front of us, engaging those shoulders. Continuing to breathe. And with an exhale, we're going to exhale, tick-tock those arms back. One, and then the other. Walking those feet forward. And drop that seat towards the floor. Fingers pointing backward. Little restorative breath here. Knees pointing towards the ceiling, feet flat on the floor. Deep breath in and out. On our next inhalation, we're going to engage the muscles of the glutes, lifting those hips off the mat, letting that head fall back, feeling that stretch in the chest, lifting that heart towards the ceiling. And exhale, we can drop that seat towards the floor. Bring that gaze straight forward. Next time, inhale. Bringing those hips up towards the ceiling, rising, lifting with the heart, letting go of the neck, letting go of the chin. Exhale, we drop that seat forward. Letting it rest. Last time, inhale up. And exhale, we come all the way down. Really nice. Straighten those legs out in front of us. Re-engaging, we can walk our backs upright. We re-engage with staff one more time. And when we're ready, deep breath in. And with the exhale, lower that back slow as we can, keeping those legs rooted into the mat. Dropping all the way down. Engage those abs. Continuing to breathe. All the way down. Closer you get to the floor, slower you go. Long necks. Bodies might be shaking, that's okay. We have to build heat to feel cold. And as your shoulders reach the floor, relax all the way down. Coming into Shavasana, you've earned it. Zipper those legs together, full expression of the toes. And then relax the feet and let them fall out to either side. Palms can be by our sides. Pinky toes drawn down towards the heels. Or if you prefer, we can have our left hand on our heart, right hand on our belly, gently feeling our pulse. And our breath, the fall, rise and fall of our belly as we breathe deep into the stomach, relaxing the body. Deep breath, no obstructions here. Diaphragm is wide open, breathing deep into that belly and up into that chest. Once again, just how we started. And then up into the neck and head. Expanding out the back body and relax out the neck. Letting the breath come down, let rib cage fall back, dropping that back towards the floor. Then the belly's the last thing to fall. Deep breath in, pressing that lower back into the floor, leading that expansion of body. Then breathing up into the chest and neck, even up into the head. Hold, retain, and exhale. Reverse process out of the shoulders, neck, head, letting that rib cage fold in and that belly droop. Letting your breath find a normal and natural pace now, not attempting to change it. Gently rising and falling. Just checking in with your body, seeing where you need to be. Being here in this space, in this time, knowing that this is for you. Listening. And as your mind starts to float off, as often minds do, gently guiding it back home, back to your breath, back to the sensation of the mat, back to your heart rate. Finding stillness in the body. Knowing that stillness in the body encourages stillness in the mind. Taking a mental inventory of your body, head to toe. Are you still holding tension? Indicating any of those places in body or mind where you're still holding tension. Taking a deep breath into that place now. Sending your breath in your mind's eye with all of your focus into that spot, holding that intention there and releasing that muscle, that sinew, that tendon, or that thought. Knowing that everything is as it should be, because the whole universe is as it should be. knowing that we cannot fight against the entire universe by fighting against this moment, instead deciding to yield, to be. And when you're ready, begin to bring a little movement into your body. Maybe it's rocking your head from side to side, or squinting and expanding the muscles of the face. When you're ready, you can bring your feet flat on the floor. First one foot, and then the other. Coming back into this place and this time, coming back into the awareness of the space. And when you're ready, you can rock those knees, letting them fall over to one side. Wrapping the arms around the shins, coming into a fetal position here. Coming onto one side. Giving ourselves one final hug here. A physical thank you for being here in this place at this time. Committing to yourself. And being present here with me and each other. When you're ready on your next inhalation, you can place one hand flat on the floor and guide yourself to an upright and seated position. Welcome back, friends. That was Mindful Yoga with Stephen today. Sorry for the little snafu. I don't know what happened. My phone is plugged in, but not charging. So I don't know what that's about. But hopefully you can hear me okay. I tried to plug the wireless microphone in, but I don't know if it worked. So that's interesting. But we'll bring this practice to a close the way we traditionally bring all yoga practices to a close by saying namaste, meaning the highest power in me sees and acknowledges the highest power and light in each of you. And it surely does. So namaste. Thank you so much.